Hey guys, it's Tori and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing my fall reading wrap up. So this is going to cover the months of August, September, October, and November. I had to really think about that. So I know August isn't really a fall-ish month for most people, but my last reading wrap up was all the way in July. So I just figured we'd put all those months into one video. And I think from now on I might start doing seasonal reading wrap ups and TBRs. That could change next year. I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like I don't read enough in a month to like really do a whole month every single month, if that makes sense. So I think I probably have about like maybe 15 books here. It's not a ton. We're just gonna go through all the books I have read in the last 4 months, and November is not over yet. It is currently the 27th, so I have like 3 or 4 days left. And I just want to quickly mention I have been in the process of very slowly reading Assassin's Blade. I am almost done with it, so I'm really hoping I can finish that in the month of November. So I just wanted to put that out there really quickly. But I'm loving the background right now. My Christmas tree went up yesterday and it looks so cute. And I got another bookshelf and I redid all of my shelves yesterday as well, and they literally look so good. If you guys want a full like bookshelf tour, let me know. I think I'm gonna be getting a few special editions of books soon, so maybe I will hold off on that. But if you want a bookshelf tour going into the new year, please let me know. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my face. Check out all my socials down below, including my Goodreads and my Amazon wishlist. And now we can get into the reading wrap up. Okay, so we're just gonna go month by month. I have my trusty phone with my Goodreads reviews and everything on them. So we are gonna just go from August all the way till current time. So I'm gonna start backwards. The very first book that I read for fall and August was Playing to Win by Monica Murphy. If you don't know, I literally love this series so much. This is the Players series by Monica Murphy. There are 3 books in this trilogy and it is so good. They are technically standalones, but they're interconnected standalones, and you really get the found family aspect if you read all 3 of them, and specifically in order. It's playing for keeps, playing by the rules, and then playing to win. So this is the newest and final one in the series. This one came out on I think the 10th of August, and it was one of my most anticipated reads of the year. I loved this. It was so good. These books are college football romances, and they just follow like different people in a friend group. I love these. I gave this book 5 stars because I'm obsessed with this series just so much. It's a 5-star series for sure, so I highly recommend reading this. The second book I read in the month of August was Addicted for Now by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This is, I believe, the 3rd book in the Addicted series. So I haven't read from this series since I read this book, and it's not because I don't love the series and I didn't really enjoy this book. I just have had other things I've been in the mood for. But this series is now on KU. They just announced it like a week ago, and so I definitely could see myself continuing the series. But on my Kindle, I do own all of them except I think the final one. I'm waiting for the new cover to be released, but I really love the series. If you've never heard of Addicted, it's about Lily and Lo, and they both fight off addictions, and they kind of encourage each other to do these addictions, and then things happen. I don't want to say too much because I really don't want to ruin the series. It is a 10-book series. It's interconnected with the Calloway sisters, and then there's like a spin-off series which is like the Like Us series, and then there's the Reputation duet. Like it's a very long series. I think in total it's almost 20 books, but I have enjoyed this. I don't want to say really anything about this book because it is in the middle of the series and I don't want to spoil anything, but I gave it 4.5 stars. I ate this book up. I literally read it in like 2 days. I was so obsessed. So good. Highly recommend. And I think I might even have a vlog where I'm reading this book if I'm not mistaken. So go check that out, and I encourage you to read this, especially if you have a Kindle. Try out the first book on KU for free and just go from there. The 3rd book I read in good old August was Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. This is the international paperback edition. This is one of my most prized possessions because this is not easy to get your hands on, but I somehow stumbled upon this on Amazon one day. I don't know if they still have these in stock, but if you can get your hands on it, I recommend, because the cover is different than the US, and obviously it is in paperback form, which is just so exciting. But this book I literally read in 2 days. I ate this shit up. Everybody has heard of Fourth Wing, and if you've not at least heard of it, you've probably read it, because it is just that book. It is probably one of the books of the year. This was so good. This is like a 6-star book for me. It is about this 20-year-old named Violet, and she is supposed to be going into the scribe quadrant, but her mother is like a captain or something, and she forces Violet to go into the writer's quadrant. And there is a bunch of like training and competitions, and you try to basically make it through all of these life-threatening obstacles so you can get the chance to tie yourself to a dragon and be mated, or not really mated, but like to be chosen by a dragon. And it is so good. There is so much action, and there's an enemies to lovers that is just so good. There's found family, there's heartbreak. This book is amazing. I highly recommend if you haven't read it. We will talk about Iron Flame later in the video, but if you haven't read this, I highly recommend. I know it's super overhyped, but it's hyped for a reason. This book I ate up, and I love it. The characters, the storyline, the quotes, everything. It's so good. It's very Divergent meets Hunger Games, if that sparks your interest at all. The next book is the start of a trilogy that I absolutely fell in love with. I really wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it, but I thoroughly enjoyed this. So this was the final book I read in August, and that is Once Upon a Broken Heart. This is the like special edition from the UK. It's the UK special edition paperback or something. I got this on Waterstones, so if you're like looking for these covers, Waterstones is where you can get them. But I gave this book 4 stars. It is a super cute, just little fantasy romance. It is YA, but it's very much so more like fairy tale more than like high stakes. It's not really very high stakes. It's super cute. There's not a whole lot I can say because I don't really want to ruin it, but if you go into this series blind, that's what I would recommend, because that's what I did. You will fall in love with the characters. It's super fast and quick pace. Like, it's just, I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I really loved it, and I ended up falling in love with the entire series, which you'll hear more about as I continue on. But highly recommend. So good, and these covers are literally just everything. All right, we are now in September. So the first book I finished in September was Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. This book, oh my god, I literally cannot stress enough how good this is. This is about 2 writers, and basically they are work rivals, and the main female MC gets these letters from someone sent to her house, and she's like has no clue who it is, and she just thinks it's like not really a secret admirer, but just this person who she just talks to, and she ends up setting herself off and moving and making a big life decision, and it's so good. I literally, like, I'm really bad at explaining books, but just look up the synopsis. Highly recommend. It's so good. I don't think it's super high stakes. I feel like it's more cozy fantasy, but it is a romantasy. The romance in this book is literally absolutely stunning, and let me just look at that. The gold foiling under the dust jacket, stunning. I cannot wait for the second book to come out. I highly recommend you read this before the second one comes out on December 26th. So good. Infinity stars. amazing book. The next book I read in September was Saving Six by Chloe Walsh. This is the third book in the Boys of Tommen series. I love this series literally with my whole entire heart. The new covers start to come out actually tomorrow. I have ordered 2 versions of Binding 13 because there was like this special version where you could get it signed by the author if you ordered from the small indie bookshop, so of course I did that. But anyways, this is the third book in the Boys of Tommen series. So book 1 and 2 are about Johnny and Shannon, and then book 3 and 4 are about Joey and Ophi, and then book 5 is going to be about Gibbsy and Claire. So that one comes out in April and I already have it pre-ordered. Don't even worry, I cannot wait to get that book. It's literally going to be freaking life-changing. My god, I'm so excited. These books are so good. They are heartbreaking. They literally like rip your chest out, sew it back together, rip it out again, and it's just an on and on continuous like cycle. But I highly recommend you read this series. Basically, this one follows like the timeline of the first book, but in different POVs, and this one also goes in a past and present perspective. The next one is going to be so good. I've just kind of been putting off reading Redeeming Six because I'm just like not ready for the emotional turmoil it's going to put me through. I will definitely have it read before Taming 7 comes out, but this book is so good. The quotes, the love, it's the trauma, it's so good. It's all so good. Be prepared to sob your freaking eyes out because, oh my god, amazing. The final book I read in September was the entire Mindfuck series. So this is actually 5 books in one. So on my Goodreads, I did like put them each as individual books because that's like basically just novellas, sort of like they're actual full novels and full stories, but each book ends on a cliffhanger. So basically this book is kind of like Criminal Minds meets Dexter. So the main female MC is a serial killer and the love interest is an FBI agent who is actually on her case. And so this book follows them falling in love, and it also follows the female MC, I think her name is Lana if I remember correctly. It follows her killing sprees and who she kills and why she killed them, and it gives you backstory on what happened to her to make her the way she is, and it's literally amazing. I read all 5 books in the span of like 3 days. Like that's how good it was. I ate this up. I highly recommend. So I rated the first and second book 5 stars, the third book and the 4th book 4 stars, and then the 5th book 5 stars. Overall, the whole series is a 5-star series for me, but there were some of them that I enjoyed more than others. But highly recommend. This is literally a work of art. I love the cover too, and it's so good. I highly recommend you read the Mindfuck series if you have not already. We have now made our way into October. So the first book I read in October was Powerless by Lauren Roberts. This book has been all over TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. It has literally blown up on social media. This is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, and let me just literally show you. The foiling is stunning. But this book is about Peyton and Kai. Peyton is an ordinary and Kai is an elite. Basically, it is kind of like Hunger Games. There's this competition and you have to basically kill each other off and or win each like level to go on. The banter is super good in here. I don't think that this is fully worth all of the hype it is getting. I rated it 4.5 stars personally. There was some parts I really enjoyed, some parts that I didn't enjoy as much. The second one does come out in I think July of next year, and I think it's supposed to be called Reckless. The cover did get released for that one and it's gonna be so pretty. But if you haven't read this, I do recommend. She got picked up by a publisher, so that's why there's like exclusive editions of it and stuff now. I also have the like OG indie cover because I bought this book all the way last November, but I didn't finally read it until now. But Sarah Caroli literally swears by this book. I think it's really good, but I think it's slightly overhyped. So do with that information what you will, but I do recommend it and it was really good. The next one is a brand new release of the year, and that is Wildfire by Hannah Grace. This is the second book in the Maple Hills series. The first one is Icebreaker. I love this series. It is a college hockey romance series. So basically this one follows one of the hockey players, and the girl and him basically have like a one-night stand, and then they meet again because they both decide to work at the same summer camp for the summer break, and it's slightly forbidden romance. Hannah Grace definitely writes some smut. This book was less smutty than Icebreaker, but it's still spicy. Not quite as spicy, but it's still spicy. I really enjoyed this book. I love this series. I think Hannah Grace is an amazing author, especially for being a very new and emerging author, because this is only her second book. I rated this book 4 stars, and I feel like I would stick by that rating. It was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and honestly, that's all I have to say about that. The next book I read in October was The Ballad of Never After. This is the second book in the trilogy, so I wanted to read the first and the second before the third one came out. This, I think it was in October. I gave this one 4.5 stars. The ending really got me, but this is just a continuation of the first book. It picks up right where the first one left off. I can't really give you too much information because I don't want to spoil anything, because obviously this is the middle of a series, but this book is so good. Definitely worth the hype. I've also heard a lot of controversy about if you need to read the Caraval trilogy before you read this. I personally never read Caraval, and I don't think I intend to, so I don't think it's necessary to read Caraval first if you really just want to read this series. I was able to fully understand the world and had no issues picking up on anything. The world building was simple and easy, so once again, highly recommend this one. The last book I read in October was A Curse for True Love. This is the third and final book in this trilogy. I rated this one 5 stars. I absolutely freaking loved it. I was lucky enough to actually pick up one of the signed editions for Barnes & Noble's Black Friday. This is like my prized possession now, and I literally love the foiling on the hardback without the dust jacket on. You won't understand this reference unless you have read the books, but I am obsessed with it. This book was so good. I know there's a lot of mixed feelings around it because of just how little one of the main characters is in a lot of this book and how much it focuses on somebody else, but I thought that the character development throughout this series was so good. I loved the ending. It did feel slightly rushed, I felt like, but I still highly recommend. I loved this book. Clearly I gave it 5 stars, and this trilogy is one of my top favorite series from now on. Like, it's so good, and I highly recommend. We are now in November, and November has been a very bad reading month for me. I only have read 1 book this whole month. Like I said, I have been in the process of reading The Assassin's Blade, and I'm also halfway through The 7-Year Slip, but I've just really been struggling to read this month. I started a new job, and I've just had a lot going on in my life. Today is literally like the only day off I have had where my shop has been open and I've not been there. So it's been just a very trial and error process of getting into a routine, getting into a rhythm, trying to balance work life with my personal life, with my relationships, and also with my reading time. I've just been struggling. But the only book that I started and completely finished for the month of November was Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. I feel like you guys definitely saw this coming. I of course read it. I do have the black sprayed edges, and if you're still looking for this, There are a lot of places that still have it in store. I know it's hard to get online, but I've seen it at Barnes & Noble's with the sprayed edges. I've seen it at Target, Walmart, there's Meijer's. If you're on the hunt for the sprayed edges, just go looking for them in stores, because I bet you can find it somewhere. And definitely get the sprayed edges before they're gone, because I don't think they're coming back. But I just want to say that really quick. Fourth Wing and Iron Flame are part of the Empyrean series, or Empyrean or something like that. I'm not 100% sure how you pronounce it, but I think that's how. So like I said, this is the second book in the series. There, I think, are supposed to be 5 in total, so there's definitely a lot more that can happen. I have been watching some like spoiler vlogs or reactions to this book, and I definitely have to agree with a lot of the things that other people had to say about it. So let's just start with the romance. I love the couple. I love them literally so much, and the male MC is literally like my Rysand, like from ACOTAR. I love him so much. This book made me so unbelievably emotional. I did a reading vlog for this book, and I also did a reading vlog for A Curse for True Love, so if you haven't seen those, go check them out if you're wondering what my opinions and my reactions are. But I sobbed literally like 10 times during this book, and I just had a gut feeling that there was going to be a cliffhanger ending, and I was so correct. The ending literally broke me. I don't even want to talk about it. I was heartbroken. But I've seen a lot of people say that they feel like the writing in this was rushed. There was not nearly as much action. This was definitely more politic based, and it was definitely like a stepping stone book. The story in here, I feel like, it's just a really much, like, it's just a builder. Like, it's just a build and add to the rest of the series. I feel like this book, the writing process was rushed because everybody was just waiting for the next one to come out after Fourth Wing blew up this summer. But I still enjoyed it. I did give it 4.5 stars. I feel like I still can agree with that rating, but like I said, the ending absolutely ruined me, and I have been in a reading slump since I finished this book, and I finished it like a week ago or something. So it really put me into a weird spot with my reading journey, and I have some mixed feelings from here to there about it, but I still thoroughly enjoyed it, and I feel like it is worth the read, and I definitely will continue the series as more released. Alright guys, that is all of the books that I read August through November. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to see if I did a decent job completing my fall TBR, you can go back and watch that video and just do some comparisons. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what books you read this fall. I love you all so much. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my face. Check out all my socials down below, including my Goodreads and my Amazon wishlist. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys!